Okay guys, I wanted to go over one more thing that you definitely want to dry practice with if you have time before our pistol clinic, and that's reloads. There are several stages on the pistol qualification test, the PQT, that require a expeditious reload. They don't have to be super fast, but they have to be very efficient. Every pistol is going to be slightly different for a reload. For instance, on this 45, you can see that my thumb doesn't reach either the mag release or the slide release. Neither of those. On my 9 here, my carry, I can kind of reach both of those, and those will affect basically how you're going to need to go about doing your reload. To practice your reload, you want to think about what has to happen. I recommended in those dry practice stages that you do them slowly. Additionally, for instance, in reloads, I'd recommend you kind of break down your process into individual steps and then just work on perfecting each one. So, before we begin here, I'm going to go ahead and do some thought about what has to happen. So, my finger's on the trigger, I got a good stance, bang. The first thing that has to happen is I've got to get my thumb down to the mag release button, and I've got to get my finger indexed off the trigger, indexed on the side of the frame. If my finger won't get down here, I'm going to have to rotate the pistol slightly in my grip. I'm going to use my index finger on my support hand as I'm pulling it away to kind of give it that little couple degree twist. I'm exaggerating a little bit, which also brings my thumb right to the mag release button. So that's step one for me. When I do this, the reason I'm doing it out front and rotating in front of me is I want this mag well to be pointing directly at the ground. Any way that I tend to tip the mag well away from vertical straight into the ground doesn't allow gravity to pull that mag well out, and I really increase the chances that it's going to get hung up during my reload. So that's step one. Bang, step one. You can see mag well's pointing straight down. I've rotated the pistol. I didn't rotate my wrist. I did not do this. I did this. I just pulled that pistol right into my thumb on this side. So, bang. Pull that pistol in. The next thing I need to do is I need to get the pistol back into what we call our workspace, which is basically right in front of me so I can see it. I still want to be able to see over the barrel to look at my target, and I want it to consistently come back to the same spot every time with the mag well pointing at my magazine pouch, my mag pouch, which is normally right here on my belt for me. So I'm pointing my mag well at my mag pouch. I index my elbow and my tricep back against my rib cage. So I've released my mag. Now, I'll go ahead and do it. Bang, there's one. I'm bringing my arm in, bringing my pistol into my workspace. This other hand is going to my mag pouch, or in this case, going to the table to grab a magazine. I'm grabbing with all 5 fingers, with my index finger of my support hand touching the last round, the bullet in the last round. You'll notice that I'm keeping my arm, my wrist, and my magazine all in one straight line. That'll help me solve this geometry problem. This is much easier to do than it is when these things are kind of cocked off in all different directions and I got to get them lined up. So they're always lined up when I bring my magazine up to the mag well. Bang, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so I'm seating. I brought the magazine up to the mag well and sent it home by using the palm of my hand. Now, remember, if I was really shooting, my slide would be locked back at this point, and there's two ways to go ahead and rack the slide or chamber around, and one is to come over the top, and that's the way our Appleseed pistol manual talks about it. So they talk about send it home, come over the top. Now, when I grab the slide here, I'm going to pull this hand back, but I'm also going to push this hand forward. So I'm going to jerk both against each other so I get the most mechanical advantage. So that's how I'm going to get my slide done up. And now I need to establish my grip and get back on target. So I'm going to do it again. I kind of karate chop under here to kind of get my index fingers set. And then as I push out like from center line index, come out, I'm kind of going to roll that. I'm going to roll that hand back into its good support hand position. So I'm going to be rolling back out as my sights, as my pistol is indexed on the target. My fingers are going to come down to the trigger and take the slack out. So now I'm sitting right on the wall. And I'm already lined up. So then when I shoot again, bang, I get a nice trigger pull straight to the rear. Okay, so let's go through that process one more time. Tell you what, this time I'll start it with the slide lock back the way it would actually be. So bang, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So basically you're going to break down that process. That was actually kind of fast for me. Where I'm at with my reloads, I probably need to work on this about 10 or 20 times every day, or 100 times. Nice and slow until it's perfect. So practice it perfect. They say practice makes perfect, and then I think even somewhere in our Appleseed manual says it's perfect practice makes perfect. So do this slowly. If you just do even a few reps every day, or even just take the time to think about the process, you're going to be way ahead of the game when we get to our pistol clinic. Again, if you guys have any questions or anything, post them in the comments below, or send me an email or private message. Can't wait to see you guys.